Georgia, Georgia, the whole day through. Welcome, everybody, to Swollapalooza Summer Series Thursday night. I'm Steve Ivy, your host. I'll be joined in just a few minutes with my first summer guest, Brandon Rechsteiner, who joined CSU this year for after 2 years at Virginia Tech. Before I bring Brandon on, just want to cover a few things. Just talk about the show sponsor. Once again, I'm sponsored by Highland Meadows Golf Course, the premier public golf experience in northern Colorado. Located in Windsor, Colorado. It's a beautiful 18-hole golf course, priding itself on providing tournament conditions on a daily basis, top-level service to make your experience on the golf course unsurpassed. It's unsurpassed by any facility in northern Colorado. And then, of course, a full-service restaurant where you can finish off with a craft beer or a nice sandwich. We love the hot Nashville hot chicken sandwiches. They're really, really good. No special promotions. Just a reminder, 4th of July is only 8 days away. Highland Meadows takes tee times 8 days in advance. So you book your tee times. Courses tend to fill up for the holidays. I know people get busy, but then decide to play on 4th of July weekend. So make sure you get your tee times done for that. So, and make sure if you go over there and play, or if you talk to anybody over there, visit the golf shop, make sure you thank Chad and Zach and Drew and Jim who work over there. Thank them for their great support of my YouTube channel. So I've got we're getting some people. We had a great show last night. A lot of people. I did a 2 hour and 40-minute live stream, I don't like that, but I was hoping it was to the NBA draft with Nick Clifford. Go back and watch it. We had a lot of fun. I ended up having about over 500 people live for the show. And a lot more people have watched it since. But I was hoping Neek would get drafted about 12th or 13th. Him going 24th meant I had to wait about 2 hours. So we went about 2 hours and 40 minutes. Anyway, it was fun. We had a good time, and now it's on to the season. We sent Neek to Sacramento Kings. I already got some people out here. Aaron Harris, Aaron's there. Let's go. Corey from Butler, Pennsylvania. Let's go. I tell him Steve sent me and see what happens next. And finally, we'll hit this. We'll talk about this later. John Tonje to the Jazz, another player from CSU getting drafted. Spent his first 4 years at CSU, spent a year at Wisconsin, all Big Ten, second-round draft pick. But without further ado, I'm really excited. I'm going to bring on a young man that I think is going to be, you're going to really like him. I had a chance to talk with him a little bit after practice, but I'm going to bring on Brandon Rechsteiner. Brandon, welcome to my stream. How are you tonight, man?
I'm good, man. Just watching this draft, man.
Did you watch last night? Were other CSU guys watching last night?
Yeah, we all had like a draft party at on top of Moby, and we all sat there and watched. So
now, did you get a chance to meet Neek? Was he by practice at all since you've been here, or has he been out of town?
Yeah, he's been out of town. I mean, when I was getting recruited out of the portal, like he was around, and I remember like hearing him in the background. They were always like, "Oh, what's up, Neek?" But I never met him.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm sure you'll get a chance to. And then the other one, I think you're going to get a chance to meet some of the other guys too. I had Isaiah Stevens on my show. Of course, Isaiah played here for 5 years, all-time leading scorer and leading assister, and plays on the Miami Heat roster. And he told me he's going to stop by Fort Collins with a bunch of his Heat teammates after summer league. So you'll have a good chance to meet them. I think that'll be fun.
Yep.
Hey, before we get into what's going on, what's going on with your college career at Virginia Tech and the portal, and what's going on at CSU and your adjustment to Fort Collins. I just want to talk about you growing up, and you grew up in Georgia, right? Are you a born and bred Georgian? Were you born there?
Yep. I'm born and raised, never moved, just outside of Atlanta.
Yeah, north. I think you told me you lived up north. Is that right?
Yep. North Atlanta. Yep.
And when you were growing up, when you were a kid, did you play a lot of sports, or did basketball was basketball one of those things that you just gravitated toward right away?
You know, I played a little bit of everything. Played football in high school, and then when I got to like my 10th grade year, I kind of just fell in love with basketball. Like when I probably around 8th grade, I was like, man, this is what I want to do in college. So I stopped playing baseball, and then I played football a few more years, and I was like, because I was probably better at football, so I kept playing, and then I was like, man, this is what I want to do, and I made the decision, and it surprised a lot of people, but then it paid off in the end.
What position did you play in football?
I played a little bit of everything. In high school, I had to kind of play my role. I played like defensive back, but eventually I probably would have played defensive back or like slot receiver, somewhere around there.
Okay, so 6'1" and pretty well built. Probably a good physical football player, playing on the inside in the slot, huh?
Yeah, that's what my brother plays. He plays in college, so yeah.
So you said about 8th grade or so, you started thinking about basketball, or as your sport, or
Yeah, like I wanted to go to NFL, and then around like 7th, 8th grade, I was like, no way, I want to go to NBA. So I always liked basketball. I loved it, honestly, but that was when I was like, okay, this is what I'm focusing on. Like I would train, but when I would train like it wouldn't always be basketball. It would be like football stuff too. But then around like 7th, 8th grade, it was like, all right, I'm just training for basketball now.
now. What was something just it just slipped my mind. Did you have any players when you were growing up? What kind of, when you were 8th, 9th, 10th grade? Who are the players that you looked at as that's a guy I want to pattern my game after?
Yeah. Eighth. That was a little before Peyton Pritchard. When I got to like 9th, 10th grade, it was kind of like Peyton Pritchard. But growing up, I mean, I was kind of always around Colin Sexton. We have the same trainer. That's why I just was working out with in Atlanta, like up to the day I got out here. We worked out in the mornings. So I was just being around him. Really, honestly, is what kind of made me love basketball. Like my dad, he always had us working out ever since like 3rd, 4th grade. But it would, like I said, it would be football stuff or like running hills. But when I started getting around Colin and around the 8th grade, Colin Sexton, I just loved it. So I'm kind of modeled my game after him. About same size as him, same height, same weight. He's more athletic than me, but yeah.
So, so there you go. You're in high school, obviously the AAU circuit, and at what point did it become apparent you were going to be a Division I level player? When did you start getting recruited?
I got recruited 10th grade. I got recruited by like small, like some D2 schools in like 9th grade going to 10th grade. And then 10th grade going to 11th, I got my first Division One offer, and then I kind of blew up, but it was all like mid-major stuff. And then going after my junior season is kind of when I like became national. So, but I didn't really. I always thought I could play D1. I just didn't know if I would grow. I was about 5'10", 5'11", and when I did grow and got stronger, more athletic, it's just I didn't know if someone would take a chance on me. And once they did, it kind of blew up.
Yeah, and so who are the schools that were most interested in you? I know you ended up at Virginia Tech, but what other schools were they
Yeah,
mostly? Other ACC, other SEC, other schools in the
yeah.
region?
Majority of that. Probably one that kind of was out the blue was Gonzaga. They were way across the country, but Gonzaga was in there. Miami, Xavier, that was in the Big East. Georgia Tech, Tennessee. So it was a good list. Virginia. So yeah.
Yeah, that's a heck of a list. What attracted you to Virginia Tech?
Just seeing what they did. I committed the year they won the ACC, so seeing what they did with light guards with Sean Padula, who I'm a really good friends with. Hopefully, someone takes a chance on him here soon in this draft or right afterwards. But seeing what they did with dudes like him and Storm Murphy, and I was like, man, this is a nice spot for me. So yeah, I don't regret the decision at all.
Did you meet? Did was Sean involved with your recruiting at Virginia Tech?
Not really. Like when I went on my visit, we talked and we played pickup and we kind of got it went back and forth a little bit, but like we became cool when I got there. I didn't really wasn't really too friends with him before.
Now, did you end up with you spent your first year at Virginia Tech, and you didn't play a lot. You played some, but not a lot. Was it primarily? I mean, you played behind a great guard. He was just a great player. Was it you learning from him? Was it that the kind of the primary thing that happened your freshman year?
Yeah, that's really all it was. Had some schools like even honestly they were like, man, are you sure you want to go there? Like, because people kind of got the word I was gonna go there, and schools was texting me like, you don't want to do 2 years with Sean Padula, assuming that he didn't transfer. But I kind of was thinking, okay, like everyone's path is different. I can learn from Sean. Like learn he has some stuff that I wanted to add to my game, like his footwork in the paint. So I was like kind of cool with it. Obviously, I didn't. I wish I played more, and I probably could have done some things. I had some stuff like I had got hurt, and that's kind of what derailed my season. Like before I got hurt, I was in the rotation every game. I started some games, um, but I wish I had played a little more. But I wasn't. I don't regret it. Like I came back for a reason the next year. So
Yeah, it turns out if you go back, I remember way back when CSU recruited Sean. I remember his name. He's out of
so
Oklahoma, and
yeah,
I don't know. Has Ali talked to you about him much at all?
yeah.
Because Ali
No, shit.
recruited him.
Sean was actually a big part of me coming here. Me and Sean are really good friends. Well, he's not a big part of why I came, but he influenced me. I told him CSU hit me up, and when Ali called me, he had mentioned how he recruited Sean. Well, actually, even before Ali had called me, this was when Coach Deweese was texting me. I told Sean because he just wanted an update, and I told him Colorado State, and obviously Colorado State had played Ole Miss last year, and he was like, "Bro, you'd be perfect there. Like, you'll love Ali. Like, he recruited me out the portal and out of high school. Like, great school, obviously great program. Like." Top tier program, really. And he was like, that offense, like you would dominate. And then once I kind of heard that from someone who, one, I value him as a friend, but also I value him as a player, like someone who I, in somewhat way, model how I want to play or model how my career trajectory would want to go. So I really valued what he said to me.
Yeah, of course he was a large part of Ole Miss kicking CSU's butt last year
Yeah,
after
that was
after he transferred, and of course that opened up that he went into the portal and went to Ole Miss to play for Chris Beard, and now all of a sudden you're the guy. You started about half the games and played about I think 55% of the minutes. I have your stats running on a banner, but it all of a sudden you're launched into it was a very similar situation to what CSU went with last year with Kyan Evans taking over for Isaiah Stevens, who had been around forever.
yeah.
And what was it like? All of a sudden, you're your sophomore year, and now you're in a big program in the ACC, and you got a lead at your position.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I wanted. That's why I came back. They told me obviously the spot wouldn't be given, but I truly didn't think they could bring in a guard better than me. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna stay. I stayed. I earned the starting spot. Um, and I think I was just young and inexperienced to start the year. I had some good games. Had a 20-point game my second game, but I was just inconsistent. But I knew I could figure it out. Like I'm like I'm better than these guards in the ACC. I'm better than them. And sometimes like in that level, sometimes the politics can work their way out. So I was starting to get inconsistent minutes. I wasn't. Some games I would start, some games I wouldn't, and then if I feel like if I had got more trust in me, I feel like I could have done what I started doing at the end, where I scored 20 on Louisville, 23 in the ACC tournament, like doing stuff like that. But that's why I came here to really show what I can do.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing because I already mentioned Kyan Evans as a parallel. His first few games as a starter last year, he was in a similar place where he was very, very inconsistent, to the point where he scored nothing against. We played Virginia Commonwealth in Las Vegas, and Kyan goose egged against them, and I think he played 30 minutes. And I
Yeah.
remember talking to Coach Medved. I understand what you're talking about in terms of, politics or people not believing in you, because I talked to Coach Medved. I actually had him on my show right after they lost to VCU. And I asked him, can you afford to go ahead with a point guard who's not going to score? And he looked and he said at me, he said, this is on me. We believe in Kyan. And this is on me, and I've got to figure out a way. He's going to get there, and he's a really, really good player. And it's up to us to keep playing him and stick with him and show him how he can get better and how he can improve. And you saw if you watch CSU, everybody saw what happened with Kyan last year, and he blew up, and he ended up going to North Carolina. And so, but I understand what you're talking about with what you went through at Virginia Tech.
Very, very situation. Like, my first few games, I was playing well. We played Michigan, South Carolina. Like, I was playing well, and then we kind of started losing. And the coaches thought, okay, maybe if we switch some stuff up, it can give us more energy, more light. And I mean, I really do feel like I could have figured it out. Like, this being my first year playing in ACC, I feel like I really could, like, I mean, I kind of proved it. Like, when we played some of the top teams, like, I'm giving some of these top guards like 20-point games, and it's like, but I feel like if I had that belief in me, I could have done what Kyan did. So that's why I came here.
I hear you. Before we move on, we'll get into some of the portal and CSU stuff. Did in your career, have you played at Cameron Indoor Stadium?
Yeah, I played there last year.
Last year, okay.
Yeah.
I went to school at Duke, so I'm very. It's obviously near and dear to my heart, and CSU has been back there twice to play in the last whatever number of years, and I've gone back, and it's just was it a great experience for you? Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, it was probably top 3 atmospheres I played in my college career. I mean, Auburn was up there, Duke, and probably North Carolina. So, yeah, great atmosphere. I liked it.
Yeah. So here now, so you have a season at Virginia Tech, and obviously the didn't go as maybe as you had planned, and for the team it wasn't a great season. No postseason, lost I think in the first round of the ACC tournament to Cal, and lo and behold, you go into the portal. Tell me what your portal experience was like. Was it absolutely crazy?
Yeah, it was pretty crazy, honestly, because I entered the portal early. Like, I like Virginia Tech. I have a lot of respect for the coaches. No bad terms, but I knew I was going to hit the portal just because I wanted better for myself. So I hit the portal before it opened. And honestly, like, some schools already started hitting me up. And then the first day the portal opened, like, it was crazy. And then it started getting a little stressful because I'm like, okay, do I stay at the ACC, SEC, or Big Ten, or do I go to a Mountain West American or an A10? So it kind of got crazy. I went on a visit to Georgia Tech. I was getting recruited by like Georgia, Oklahoma State, Butler, LSU. And then when Kyan hit the portal late, Colorado State hit me up. And I had seen what Colorado State did, and that's kind of what I wanted, honestly. I like Grand Canyon. I wanted like a Mountain West or a WCC or top A10, like a Dayton. That's really what I wanted to do because I just didn't want to have to deal with too high. Well, everyone's high level, but like too like elite, like a dude who maybe also was in the ACC. I didn't want to deal with that, honestly, because I had been dealing with that for 2 years at Virginia Tech. So I was like, I really want to go to somewhere where I can really showcase my game. And when Colorado State hit me, they were like, would you be willing to come out this far? And I have family that go here. I have family in Denver. My mom wanted to go to school at Colorado State. And I'm like, yeah, like, let's go. I was like, let's set the visit up, and I committed on my visit. So
yeah, I remember. To be honest with you, I have a pretty good relationship with Ali, and he told me some of the guys, off the record of who was coming to visit, and you were one of the three guys he was really excited to have come. And has he talked to me? I actually had him on my show. No, it wasn't a. It was oh God, I can't remember when it was. Oh, it was after. Oh no, I did talk to him, and he said he had some really interesting things to say about you. He saw a great potential. He thought that one of the things that was exciting about bringing you to CSU was not just your ability to play to be a leader and an effective point guard, but he thought there were some really good things with the way that CSU runs their offense to get you off the ball and get you scoring off the ball. Has he talked to you much about that?
Yeah, that was like also a big emphasis for me because I always played with another guard in AAU in high school, and I know I'm a point guard. I'm a lead guard. Like that's where I want to start at. But like at the end of the day, like I got to get off the ball like to get me catch and shoots, and I want to do that. At Virginia Tech, we didn't have another guard that could ball handle, so that was big for me, and I do want to play some off the ball. Like you have to be able to play both. So yeah, that was big.
Yeah, when the one thing, and I talked a little bit with Ali. I went to that practice a couple of weeks ago, and he's real big early on with the way this offense runs. You have to be willing to give up the ball because you're probably going to get a better shot. The more you give up the ball, the better a shot you're going to get. And it's kind of a paradox with a lot of modern players that want to bounce the ball a lot. That's not the way this offense runs. Does it feel comfortable to you what you've been able to do in the first few weeks in practice and learning this stuff?
Yeah, so far, yeah. So obviously, like I'm starting to manipulate the defense and understand now. For me, it's like how can I manipulate the defense more, and where can I get my shots from? That's still what I'm figuring out because it's very free flowing. Like I'm playing on the ball, off the ball. I'm pitching the ball ahead, and so just kind of finding like how Isaiah scored in this offense. How did Neek score in this offense? How did Kyan score in this offense? So, but I like the offense. It's really good for me. I've gotten a whole lot of open looks.
Yeah. Do you consider what's the strongest if, from a shooting perspective? Do you think it's your perimeter shooting? Do you think it's getting into the paint, pulling up floaters, or getting to the rim? What would you categorize as your strengths on the offensive side?
It just probably shooting from really like deep. Like obviously my numbers didn't really show, but like in the games where I got consistent minutes, they did show. So I would say like right now it's like shooting. Like I think I'm leading the team in 3-point percentage right now. Definitely shooting, but my midi pull up's always there. I like getting to the rim. I'm not too big on getting to the rim. When I get down there, I'm kind of looking to pass more. But my midi is kind of always my go-to. But my three is my kind of like my calling card. So
Okay. So yeah, okay. So here we go. I got a comment from my buddy Joey B. Rechsteiner, LFG. There we go. Everybody's starting to get fired up, man. So you've had 3 weeks roughly of practice so far?
3. Yep, 3.
What are you seeing in your teammates? I know I talked a little bit with Kyle Jorgensen, and Kyle looked at me and he said, and realized we had a pretty good season last year. The team really developed and grew, and I'm sure you watched it. I don't know how much you watched of the NCAA tournament, but the win over Memphis and the heartbreaking loss to Maryland, but that team really came together. But Kyle told me that he was really impressed with all these new guys that have come in. And he thinks there's a chance this team can be better this year than last year. And of course, that excited me. But what are you seeing? You have a perspective from the ACC. You have a perspective of being a pretty high level recruit. What are you seeing with the other guys that have come in here?
Yeah, I mean, the thing that sticks out the most with everyone is like how like everyone's just some good dudes. Like everyone's working hard, and it's rare to like have a team that has that culture. So I think us being connected is gonna make us already good. We have a lot of talent. We're not the most talented team, coming when you see teams like these ACC, SEC teams, but the way our offense runs and the players we have unselfish players, and everyone can shoot, and we have dudes that can do like this dude might shoot good, this might drive good, like so I don't know, like we don't have, I'm gonna be honest, we don't have a kid like Nick Clifford, but I think we have surrounding pieces that are better.
Do you is there has Ali talked to you? I see you as kind of a natural because of the position you play, and then watching you play. Um, do you leadership? Has Ali talked to you about how much he wants you to emerge as as one of the leaders on the team?
Yeah, I mean that's kind of like I've always been the leader wherever I went. Even when I was a freshman at Virginia Tech, like I wasn't the leader by default because I was a freshman, not starting or nothing like that. But I always was never afraid to speak my mouth. Like in the team huddles, I'm always getting guys going. So that's kind of just who I am naturally. And right now, like I would say, me and Rashawn are kind of the dudes kind of leading stuff right now. Everyone's kind of being good with it too, though, for sure.
Now you talked about the shooting. You're leading the shooting so far. Who else? Who else would you categorize as the top shooters right
Yeah,
now?
I would definitely say like me. Like I'll say, I mean, everyone can honestly shoot. Kyle can shoot. He's been hurt, like nothing bad. Like I think he like strained a muscle and it's just like precautionary, so not like hurt, but like I haven't seen him too much. But I would say like me and Josh right now are probably the two best shooters. Josh Pasquarelli really shoots it. So
Um, Now, the one thing when I went to practice, I had a chance to touch bases with Jason Phillips, your strength and conditioning coach, and I said, this team looks pretty well put together, and he actually commented, and he told me he thought the team this year was ahead of last year in terms of strength and conditioning. You're built like a rock, 6'1", 190. Have you always been kind of a weight room guy?
yeah, yeah, for sure. Like just being like raised by my family, like my dad, my cousins, my uncle, my brother, like kind of is what you got to do. I mean, I was always genetically kind of a little thicker than most players. But I mean, it's true. I've been doing 2, 3 a day since fourth grade. So, I mean, I wasn't lifting heavy when I was young, push ups, pull ups, stuff like that. But I've been, I mean, I don't, I've been lifting ever since a long time. So,
Yeah, I like I said, I was impressed physically with how the team looks. You, Pasquarelli, um, Augie, Jace Butler. Obviously, Rashawn is built. Rashawn's going to set you some really good screens at some point this year, I think. Have you noticed that in practice? Has
yeah.
he been doing that for
I
you?
mean, honestly, a lot of the times right now, me and Rashawn have been on opposing teams, and I hate it because I'm getting hit by him. So, but I think me and Rashawn will be a great duo. His unselfishness, my unselfishness, and his ability to, play off a point guard, like I've seen it. So, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I'm excited because, like what I saw in practice, I had people hammering on me I did a live stream 2 weeks ago after a practice, and they said, "Who's going to start?" And I said, everything's up in the air. I do, I know how the coaches work, but I said if I was a betting man, I would bet on Rechsteiner and Pasquarelli being the starting backcourt, and after that, I can name names, but I don't, I was impressed with what I saw out of both you and Josh in terms of just really picking up what needs to happen out on the court. Do you feel like you're picking up on?
Yeah.
I know you're in the initial stages of the offense, and I don't know how much you've worked on the defense, but do you feel like you're picking up on everything that you need to do so far?
Yeah, for sure. Like, and honestly, I've been kind of taking it, not trying to do too much, like kind of more mental reps and kind of like seeing how coach wants to pace, where he wants the ball delivered, stuff like that. And now I'm kind of at the point where we've been practicing with the offense for like 2 weeks now. So now I'm just gonna start to the point where I'm trying stuff. And I might turn it over a few times to start, but I'm really understanding it. So is Josh. Really everybody is like it's coming together. Now it's just kind of about fixing the pace and the spacing, and I think it'll do well.
Yeah. like I said, I'm excited with this group. It should be a fun group. Here's my boy Joey again. Welcome to the fort. Low humidity and cool summers. Add chapstick and water to your grocery list. Talking about Fort Collins, what's your immediate? You've been here for a few weeks. What do you think of Fort Collins so far?
I like how you said get some chapstick and water, man. My mouth's dry and I got chapped lips right now, but I like Fort Collins. I got family that went to school here. My mom wanted to go to school here, so I was kind of familiar with it first time out here, but I like it a lot. I mean, it's really pretty. I went to the lake the other weekend. It was nice. I like that. The air, I like the air. It's not humid. Like I'm from Georgia, so yeah, I like it. Not looking forward to the cold. You know, I did that in Virginia, but it'll be all right.
Yeah, I think I told you I went to Texas last weekend to pick up a puppy, and I hadn't been in 97 degrees with 80% humidity in a long time. I grew up on the East Coast, so I'm used to it. But I've been in Colorado for over 40 years, and I died in San Antonio, Texas last weekend. So I appreciated coming back, and I'm glad you're enjoying it. You said you went to a lake. What kinds of other things have you been doing other than basketball?
Yeah, I mean, we've been watching the playoffs as a team here and there, the draft. I went to the lake. I was paddleboarding. Once I've been going to the pool a little bit. Um, Playing the video game. So nothing too crazy. I mean, I'm really in the gym all day, so on the weekends it's kind of the only time I'm free, like Sundays or Saturdays. So
yeah, I remember when I talked to you a little bit 2 weeks ago after practice, and you said you're on your way to the gym to work out after a good practice. Any favorite restaurants yet? Have you managed to get around town much?
I yeah, I was just texting with coach about like where should I go tonight. I've not really. I went to Brothers. We went as a team. I went to Jim's Wings was good, and I just had something. I think it was called like something Daddy's Burger or something. It was good.
Yeah, Bad Daddy.
Yeah.
over at the mall, not too far from where I live. So okay, so you're enjoying Fort Collins. You mentioned you had family down in Denver.
Yeah, so yeah, my mom's best friend, who's actually with my mom right now in Atlanta. She lives in Denver. She went to CSU. Her son goes to CSU. So it's actually crazy. My mom's two neighbors in New York, their kids both go to CSU. So my mom's left and right neighbors, both their kids go to CSU right now, which is
So
unbelievable.
your mom's in New York.
Yeah,
Where in New York City or in
Rochester.
Rochester? I'm very familiar with Rochester. My sister and brother-in-law went to college at the University of Rochester. So did my niece and nephew, who both live up there. So very
Yeah.
familiar with Rochester. I went to high school in Binghamton, which
Okay.
is about a few hours from Rochester. Through 10th grade, we moved from Binghamton. I was gonna mention that to you. You know, the one thing I need to. I don't know how much people are aware. I didn't want to spend too much time on it. Is your family going to come out and see you play? Does your dad follow you pretty closely?
Yeah, yeah. My dad's like he was just texting me. He's really involved with me. So he went to a bunch of games at Virginia Tech. Not as much as he probably would have if he was kind of like honestly happier with how it was going and stuff like that. But he never missed a game on TV. He came up there a few times, and you know he plans on coming out here, especially for. I think they were talking about coming to the football game versus Colorado. They love football. Definitely come to a few games. They're gonna go to the Bahamas and watch. Hopefully, we play Virginia Tech down there. But yeah, he'll be up here for sure.
Yeah, you know, one of the things that I've come to love with the CSU program is it's very much a family oriented program, and I get a chance to know to meet and know the families very well. So I got to know the Cliffords very well, the Lakes very well. The Stevens very well, the Roddies. I mean, you name it. All of them would come to games, and it's just a kind of the kids have been great, and the families have been great, and it's one of the great joys I have. And I wanted to mention this to you. The reason why I want to meet your father, I've told other people this, but I told you I lived in Binghamton. I moved from Binghamton to Long Island after 10th grade to a high school, and I was an okay basketball player, but I tried out. I was a cross country and track runner as well, and I tried out for the basketball team after playing basketball through 10th grade, and I got cut. My career was ended at 11th grade. My high school career was ended. I got cut. The coach was a guy named Jack Foley, who had a kid who graduated about 15 years behind me named Mick Foley.
Yeah, I know him.
And I'm sure you've heard the name.
Yeah,
I think
sure.
your dad. So I would like to meet your dad. I'd love to bring him on a stream and have him call out Mick Foley for having his dad end my high school career by cutting me. But
Yeah.
your dad would probably tell me, Steve, it's just simple math.
Yeah, he's good at math. He's definitely good at math.
He's a character, and it's kind of fun following him on social media. Obviously, a great career, but we're gonna love watching you. And here you go. This is Aaron with the Love the Family connection. I'm looking forward to watching you develop. Everybody, some people come from famous parents, but you're on your own path with a different sport and a completely different thing, definitely out of your comfort zone of the Southeast, and you've made your way to Fort Collins in the Mountain West. And if things go well and you decide you're going to stay, you'll be in the first year of the new Pac-12 as well. Have you thought about that?
Yeah, that was also something big for me to come here. I was like, okay, they're going to the Pac-12, like that's huge. Like, gonna be playing Gonzaga, like huge conference, and the Mountain West is already really good. So, yeah, I definitely thought about that for sure.
Yeah, so that's of course, the one thing that I've learned, and I never assume that a player's going to stay more than a year anymore. With just the way the portal goes, and I mean, I hope you have a great 2 years here. I really do. I'm looking forward to watching you develop in this program. But it's like I used to talk with Kyan a little bit, and I talked with his parents last year, and they would tell me, "Hey, we don't know what we're going to do," and then all of a sudden something crazy happens, and he gets a crazy offer from North Carolina, and things change. And we understand that's just the way it goes. But we hope this is just the start of a 2-year span, and we're looking forward to watching you develop, man.
Yeah, no. Hopefully 3 years, really. Like, I'm hoping that NCAA clears like the 5th year ruling, so or whatever that is. I've been told that's gonna happen, so hopefully it'll be 3.
Yeah, who knows? I just throw my hands up and I just try and enjoy the game. It's a very different era from what I grew up in, an era where, the first year of college, they had freshman basketball teams. They didn't, you had 3 years of eligibility back then in terms of varsity. And I got to see some great freshman teams, but you only had 3 years to get your stuff done. So, and it was kind of different. And now with the transfers and all that, but it's been a game I've always loved, and I've kind of grown up with. So anyway, hey, I want to thank you, Brandon. This has been great. Like I said, this is a get to know, and we'll see if I'll stop by a practice probably next week, see if we can bring on a player at least every week. But you were the first, and the reason I wanted you the first was because I'm an old point guard, and I trust point guards and want to get to know point guards first. So thank you so much for coming on.
Yes, sir.
Welcome to Fort Collins and CSU. We're so excited to have you.
Oh yeah, I appreciate it. I'm looking forward to like getting to know everybody. So I appreciate you having me.
You bet. Thanks a lot. We'll see you. I'll see you next week. Have a good evening.
Yes, sir. You as well.
You bet. Bye, Brandon. Brandon Rechsteiner. Thank you, young man. What a great interview. Great to have him. So exciting to have him. You can hear kind of the enthusiasm of looking forward to being in a system that he thinks he can thrive in, having a staff that will work with him and develop with him and believe in him and allow him to grow after maybe not getting everything that he had hoped for at Virginia Tech, but really looking forward to the situation here at CSU. I think you're going to see him emerge as a very important leader. So that's why, like I said, I wanted him first. I'm really looking forward to watching him play. So before I go, just a couple of things. John Tonje drafted John to the Jazz at 53, so he's headed to Utah. Maybe I'll figure out a way to go see him play if he can make the big team, or maybe he'll play on the G League team. Who knows? Hope things work out for him. If you watched my interview with Isaiah last night, Isaiah talked about the fact John was the first guy he met when he came to CSU his freshman year. They were apartment mates, and it was a big deal. You think about this: Isaiah signing a free agent contract, but being on the Miami Heat roster, David Roddy getting drafted in the first round, John getting drafted in the second round. Those three were apartment mates back in the year. Let's see, it was their freshman year. They came in 2019, the summer of 2019. 4 players sharing an apartment. The other one was Deshaun Thomas, who's playing professionally over in Europe. But the other 3, NBA. Who would have thunk? How many schools does that happen at, regardless of whether it's what's considered a power conference? Certainly not something you'd normally see in the Mountain West. But what a recruiting class that was, and what incredible development took place for David, for Isaiah, and for John. And I'm so proud of every one of them and what they've done. So with that in mind, I'm going to call it a night. This has been fun. Like I said, we'll try and do at least one of these every week for the summer. We'll have players, coaches. I'll have Jason Phillips, a strength and conditioning coach, on as he gets to see how people are developing in the weight room, and we'll talk about that. So anyway, thank you everybody for joining. Let's call it a night. Go Rams.